Так, опять добрый вечер всем, Роман с вами на канале. Продолжаем Kingdom Come Dliverance. Ждем, пока загрузочка пройдет. Так, я вот тут как раз засыпал, но тут сохраненка была. Это я на мельнице решил сохраниться. Дело в том, что я перед этим сохранялся в другом селении, но там у нас сохраненка, не было написано, что игра сохранена. Сивка тут стоит. Что я думаю, может попробовать на основное задание сюжетное сходить. Или что тут у нас из дополнительного? Будем их делать, не будем, даже не знаю. Но это тир, насколько я помню. Любоша посетить надо, мы его посещали, но как-то после этого там нелепая какая-то смерть была, сохраненка не сохранила игру. Барышник, ну это мужик тот, что лошадей продает, мы уже были. У него даже улей обозначается на карте, ничего себе. Потому что тут я не знаю, вблизи. Да, давайте попробуем на основное пройдемся. Что там, если у нас... А, тут утро у нас, я думал, вечер.
Да.
Тут, пожалуй, пешочком пройдемся. Погодка хорошая, солнышко в игре. Так, вот люди собрались, вот у нас наше задание. Значит, задача, узнай больше о хромом Любоше. Посети Любоша, задача выполнена. Смотрим, тут сейчас заставочка у нас будет.
along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. So I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Да, тут серьезно покарали его, видно, он плохим человеком был. Жаль, я не знаю, не разбираюсь в английском, не могу вам перевести.
Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Да, постоянно в драку был, якобы нехорошим человеком, он отзывается о нем. Давайте вот это спросим.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Вроде бы одиночкой жил.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Понятно. Почему он хромал?
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Драка это ли дела разбойничьи?
Another thing about Lubosh.
Тут прям какое-то детективное задание у нас. Давайте назад отойдем, мы туда залезли, когда нашли
When did you
труп.
find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
When did you find the
Блин,
body?
не то выбрал.
And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
The parish priest here in Ujits, he's a peculiar sort of cleric. I noticed he's quite handy with a sword.
He is indeed. He's as hard as nails. More than once he's intervened in a brawl in the tavern and sat everyone on their asses. He's not to be taken lightly.
I doubt he acquired those skills at the seminary.
You know how it goes. The nobles send their youngest sons to study for the priesthood. and our parish priest has blue blood in him. He probably learned to fight at home before he went to university. That's how it goes with those aristocrats. But I heard something happened and he was roving the world for a while. Don't know what he got up to though.
Так, что там нам по заданию сейчас? Журнал. Узнай больше о Рамом Любоше. Конь куда-то удрал, не знаю. Пока мы отключим, я прям даже не знаю. Так, наверное, нам еще надо порасспрашивать людей, мастер-лучник. Давайте с ним поговорим, попробуем.
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered. Lord knows how he made a living. Well, maybe now I've got an idea or two.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
Со священником поговори.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait, are you saying he... Jesus.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
That's all. Thank you.
Давайте со священником поговорим. Тут у нас задача правильно, не ошибаюсь. Со священником. Так, тут давайте умоемся. А то у нас вид такой. Еще, кстати, грязная одежда у нас тут. Люди разошлись, типа.
Looks like it's going to be a good year for the apples.
Ну тут даже я не вижу священника, где он именно. А, вот, наверное, на букву А нам идти, там будет священник. Тут бабка старая, привет. Так, крестьяне на вас. Давайте не будем тут. Мужик в шоке, что мы в дом к ним зашли. Священник — это, наверное, тот же самый мужик, с которым мы разговаривали перед этим, дополнительное задание брали. Если это он, сейчас мы узнаем его по деревянному мечу, что он с деревянным мечом там. Да, это он, смотрите. Отец Багута. Это с ним?
My respects to you.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sahanish of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Так, я извиняюсь, немножко отлучался. Вы не заметили ничего подозрительного?
All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Что делал Любош в день, когда напали на Neuhof?
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man's son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Должны же быть исключения.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Может, это прокатит?
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can.
Провал.
Because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
God be with you.
Вечером в корчме со священником встретиться. Ну что ж теперь Наверное, будем проматывать время до вечера. Это... Давайте до 6 это будет у нас вечером являться. Может, он под алкоголем, употребивший алкоголь, расскажет, у него душа раскроется у священника, больше нам расскажет о Любоше. Так, он в корчме этот. Да, вроде бы. Или нет? Там уже вроде как на частной территории, они отсюда приготовить. Ага, а поесть из котелка нету функции. Мы похлебки поели бы. Понятия не приложу. Ну и где этот священник? Ну что, вроде бы все правильно. Встреть священника вечером в корчме и узнай больше о хромом Любоше. Ладно, давайте поспрашиваем у служанки.
God be with you. Do you need anything?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
Кем был убитый Любош?
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
You could see at first glance he was no good. I kept well out of his way.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest. Never saw him do that before. Probably had a bad conscience.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
That's all. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Good health to you.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much. But I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even
Да,
have any
говорили
mates in
уже
the
про
tavern.
него, что он одинокий был.
That's all. Thank you.
Благодарствуем.
Good luck to you.
Давайте сейчас еще кого-то из жителей увидим на рынке. Купец он наверняка знает, раз хавальником торгует на базаре.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you.
А что, продавать вроде бы как нам нечего. Павел, что ты нам расскажешь о Рыбоше?
What do you need?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered.
А мы с ним случайно не разговаривали тут все
He was a
синенькие?
drunk. He was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much. But I wouldn't wish an end like that on anyone.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
По-моему, может, с ним такое впечатление, что разговаривали, потому что вопросики эти прозрачные. Так, это у нас корчмарь у нас будет.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
По-моему, расспрашивали.
Thank you.
God be with you.
Поспать так они всегда нам предлагают. Давайте у женщины спросим, Маруш.
Good evening.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
По-моему, это то же самое, оно под сереньким. Даже не знаю, кого что спросить уже. А священника, что нам надо в корчме с ним поговорить, я как раз и не вижу.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That's all.
Ага, ну да.
Thank you.
Благодарствую, ничего мы не спросили. Йозеф, ты нам не подскажешь.
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
That's all. Thank you.
God be with you.
Good day to you.
По-моему, то же самое мы уже у этого спрашивали, да? Еще, наверное, давайте время промотаем. 2 часика. Может, тогда подойдет священник в корчму, а то мы тут вокруг да около ждем его, людей уже расспрашиваем. Ну тут показывают, что он как бы вроде бы как тут священник. А где? Вот он. Смотрите. Садимся.
To the women. God bless them. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh. I'm sorry. What about your kin?
Они умерли.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
You think I'm too young for the job, Father?
I do, to tell the truth.
Well, I can only apologize for my lack of grey hair and gout.
Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhoff stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to
За
die so
несчастных
pointlessly
выпьем,
and so
которым
terribly.
пришлось бессмысленно
I
умереть.
told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
Управляйтесь с мечом.
I noticed you're pretty
Не
handy
такой
with
уж
a
и
sword.
священный священник это, да?
Expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Yeah, give me a
Давайте перейдем к делу.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Это все отговорки.
You're just making excuses.
Повысилась.
The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry. You've no idea how wrong you are.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Uzhitz isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Amen.
Ну да.
This Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Выпьем за
Funny.
это.
That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Жирных попов.
Here.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Ладно, хватит уже о проповедях.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ale!
Давайте выпьем с ним. Ну, я даже не знаю, что тут лучше.
That sounds like a good plan.
Понизилась,
I knew you
блин.
wouldn't let me down.
Надо было отказаться. Получен новый уровень пьянства. Это уже у нас неоднократно этот уровень. Получали мы. Это типа они до утра бухают уже.
Na kraj padnu desnej smutek, do mnie loi rano utek, niech ich małżeński majstat, do wczera żylne staje krak, už sejmoi svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě i kůži, nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno, a požerem si umí jako poslední den, půlky svátý, panorama stávy, a tak vypal sumky a posaď se mi sem, tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejden, kam ďalej vyhne, a točí se svět.
Какие там священные проповеди, нажрались-то как собаки.
Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Священник пьяным стих.
It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Wow. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Индра никакой, гляньте. Так, что теперь? Багуте. Так, ну что ж тут? Грешник приз получен, ачивка достижения. PS4 мы заработали. L1, L2 вроде бы как защита, сейчас, по-моему, будет драка.
Yo! You wanted to fight? Come and get it!
На тебе. Блин. Задача выполнена, помоги Багуте. Репутация понизилась, и, может быть, пьянство не надо было начинать на колокольню. Поднимитесь, задача начата. И что теперь? У нас в глазах расплывается. Слышите отрыжка пьяного.
Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What can you say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they mean? What's the step?
Так, что это теперь? Утро у нас или ночь, или что это? Вот на колокольню.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Отрыгает сверху. Баллон чертов. Это уже прикол разработчики сделали. Священник колокольни сверху рыгает. Обалдеть. Хоть и понизили репутацию, зато смеха сколько было. Если бы мы повысили бы репутацию и не стали бы пить, такого цирка бы и не было. А так хоть посмеялись с этим пьянством, что мы устроили. Проснулись в сарае. О, священник лупит. Может, тоже покатаемся. Ну, а чё бы нет. Инжих. Я охренел и растворился уже полностью. Там девица хорошая подошла к нему. И мы получаемся со священником пьяный в сиську я и священник. Это утречка у нас уже. Смотрите, что происходит на экране, господа, товарищи. Да, это хорошо, что я забухал. Если бы отказался бухать, наверное, цирка этого могли бы и не показать. Ну все.
Well, I have to say that was a fun.
Вечер удался на славу. Да, они, наверное, хорошо подружатся. Ну, как священник сверху с колокольни рыгал. Это цирк, конечно, тоже хороший был. Вот, теперь они типа как отсыпаются до сих пор еще у нас.
Godwin, you beast.
Скотина ты, я такая, вставай, слышишь, вставайте. Пьянчуги. Голова болит. А где что? Ты кто такой?
Henry. My great friend, Henry. We have a wonderful time.
Well, you certainly did, you old lecture. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh. What was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Что я забыл, говорит.
Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you,
but... You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose a Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
Как чучело, помоги мне.
You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh.
А ему надо проповедь читать. Как он может помочь? Это ж священник. Новый уровень, репутация понизилась, журнал заданий обновлен, кутеж.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
Ну давайте попробуем.
All right. I can't make any promises.
Вместо священника мы речь будем толкать.
What
do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubos.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Почти проповедь вместо отца Багуты. Так, во-первых, нам хочется спать. Во-вторых, нужно поесть из котелка. В-третьих, знаете что? Нас еще посадят после пьянства. Я сейчас посмотрю, что у нас тут для перегруза. Откуда перегруз? Из-за усталости, что ли? Зверобой. Но я не вижу, чтобы оно было одето, потому что мы полностью... Пойдемте за ним. Надо ж речь священную якобы прочитать. Репутация повысилась. Опа. Годится, гляньте.
I thought he'd never show up. The swamp.
Он пьянчуга.
He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you.
Да ты вчера с ним пил, скотина.
Any minute now, he'll throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Это нам надо запоминать то же самое.
Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher.
Так, сейчас нам надо что-то, я так понял, выбирать. Посмотрим, что именно. Так, смотрим. Скромную проповедь. Давайте верхние.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church.
Блин, проваленная, мне там -2 понизилась. Успех, смотрите. Во главе.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But
интересно, по-трезвому по-другому проповедь читали бы или нет, если бы отказались пить.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, enemies, injustice, hunger and chaos, failed harvests, fires, floods and other catastrophes. And it is all due
Провал, повысилась репутация.
the corrupt servants of God who do not practice what they preach. They think sins can be washed away by money. And they sell indulgences, and that.
Может быть, надо было что-то короткое.
Because sins cannot be redeemed with silver.
Prague didn't do much for his confidence.
And such sins, those who should lead with reason, who should shun debauchery and show the path of righteousness, which is the duty of all priests, instead, they indulge in drunkenness and intoxication. Therefore, the apostle says that a bishop may not be a drinker of wine, and parish priests must be sober. And it is written that when a bishop is a drinker of wine, he must be deposed, and a priest who drinks must be punished or deprived of his priesthood.
He's talking about Godwin. For sure he's talking about him, the drunkard.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. Look at them.
Опять провал.
They booze like hypocrites and buy expensive jewels. They servants of God. And that is not right, because Because Christ preached poverty. And only poverty and temperance are true virtues.
It was almost getting interesting.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Have you no shame, you pair of buffoons?
Стыда нет, шуты вы такие,
I'll be
обо
right to the
всем
bishop of this.
списку
For shame.
напишу. Стыд и
Utterly
срам.
blasphemous. Can you believe
Богохульство.
for men of the cloth to get drunk and
Пьяными в стельку являются в костел священника. А вот они, ребятки, стоят. Инжих тоже. Крендель.
So, is our deal still on? Are you pulling my fucking pizzle? I couldn't have done worse myself if I'd puked on the altar.
Well, I'm no preacher.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the
Не
only one.
только. Короче, не получилась у нас проповедь.
After all that.
All what? All you making a complete hash of my sermon? You were supposed to help, not get me into even more trouble. Now I'll have the bishop on my back and all the villagers. Just leave. I need to pull myself together.
And what am I supposed to do?
Find someone else to help you.
Вроде бы не сделали мы задачу, не выполнили. Турнир в Ротае задание началось. Завтра в Ротае будет турнир. Можешь записаться участник, если утром сходишь к Геральду. Но это я как вроде бы знаю, почему у нас только перегруз. Это может быть из-за того, из-за алкогольного опьянения мы сейчас находимся с уменьшенной силой, вернее, выносливостью. На самом деле сейчас нам надо найти корчму и лечь спать. Дальше, может, разберемся с этими заданиями, потому что у нас усталость. Мы с проповедником, священником пили всю ночь до утра тут получается. Это у нас вроде бы как корчма или нет? Это магазин у нас. Это когда перегружен. Откуда перегруз? От алкогольного опьянения, не пойму. Да, у нас все тут на самом деле. Живучесть понизена, пока мы Да, половецкий шлем, правильно мы одели. наручи. Сапоги охотника. Так, друзья, и что ж, мы сейчас начнем, вернее, найдем, где нам поспать. Сейчас мы по карте посмотрим. Ну, где-то в этой стороне корчма, я так понимаю. Мы сейчас не побежим, потому что она в сонливости еще перегруз. Купец удалой молодец. Я даже не знаю, почему у нас перегруз. Из-за того, что мы пьяны. А умыться мы можем? Да. Я не запомнил, где тут корчма. Сейчас мы корчму найдем и ляжем отдыхать. Вот она, корчма. Тут, в принципе, все просто, оказывается. Давайте же на ступеньки зайдем. С другой стороны, если бы я не начал пить, может, проповедь нормально зачитал бы.
Can I sleep here?
I suppose I could find something. For how long?
На одну ночь. Ты еще пьяный, ты нянька стоишь.
Money up front, though.
А поторгуемся. У нас 300 монет и так осталось немного. Сейчас он 1,9 попросит, как обычно. Много, говорит, и сойдет.
Like sleeping on a cloud it is.
Where do I go to sleep?
Так, на чердаке тут у нас.
You'll have no trouble finding it.
Насколько я
Right
помню.
inside the door to the building, there's a ladder up to the loft. Your bed's ready there, and a trunk for your belongings. Farewell.
Это здесь. Да, друзья, это здесь. Мы лезем наверх. Не знаю, чего перегруз взялся. Того, что мы не отдохнули или... Вот смотрите, тут просто спать, а тут заснуть и сохраниться. Вот. Ну что ж, как смогли, может быть, мы на самом деле провалили, может, сделали задание, я не знаю, что там дальше. Но... Как получилось, я играю в игру первый раз. Хорошо спать будем после алкогольного опьянения. На 12 часов поставил. Сытость Наверное, понизится, проголодаемся, пока отоспимся. И, наверное, завтра уже в следующей серии запишемся на турнир. Раз сегодня проводится, я думаю, монет хватит у нас, но это уже в следующей серии будет. Ну а пока все, ребят. Игра сохранилась, всем спасибо. Протрезвели, перегруза нет, это из-за пьянства. Все, смотрите, горожанин тут с нами спит. Ну а пока все, друзья, всем спасибо. Пока, Роман с вами был, до встречи, потом продолжим.